Hey, what is going on? Welcome to Beautiful Star Podcast. I am your host, Antoinette. And yes, if this is your first time tuning in, definitely subscribe, share, and like. Um, if you have subscribed recently, I definitely want to give a shout out to you. Thank you so much for all the recent subscribers. I truly appreciate it. Um, yes, I do want this channel to grow, so definitely make sure that you um subscribe. Definitely. Okay? Um so tonight, well, pretty much tonight, this morning, um, it's going to be different things that I'm going to be discussing, right? But first, I want to know how you guys are doing. Um, yes, how are you doing? Let me know um, how you are doing, okay? Um, did you have a great day? Um, yeah, so I know my day was definitely a kind of like, relaxed kind of day. I did get some of the things done that I wanted to get done. It was minimum, but today was just a day of relaxation for me, reflection, just pretty much thinking about how I want my week to be, um, planning for this upcoming week. So yeah, um, I look forward for today. Um, yeah, today is going to be an amazing day. Um, yes. So I'm definitely being optimistic, being focused on um what I want to do. Okay? Because let me be honest with you guys. Sometimes it's kind of like difficult to focus on what it is that you want. Sometimes it can be challenging when you have other things that are going on, when you have um, sometimes when you have people who are trying to interfere or who are just haters and they don't want to see you doing good, right? And so sometimes um, they can um, put themselves in a place where they're creating hurdles. But sometimes when that is going on, the best thing that, you know, to counter this is to focus on what it is that you want, right? Because a lot of times when people set out things that they put out for themselves, like if they have certain intentions, they set out goals, like whatever it is that you want to do, right? You'll say to yourself, like, oh, today I'm choosing to be positive. Then all of a sudden, you notice that there are things that are kind of trying to get you away from being positive. You know what I'm saying? Like someone could say something to you. It could be, you know, it could be something so small as um you walking out of the building, right? And you right behind somebody and they don't hold the door. Like some people get like really upset, like, oh, you knew I was behind you and you didn't hold the door, right? Some people get really upset about that. And then it could be vice versa. You could just be walking out the door, you got your headphones on, you don't even notice nobody behind you, right? And that could start a full blown argument. Like where I'm from, people like that really starts a lot of like drama, like people be ready to fight you if, they hold the door, you don't say thank you. You know what I'm saying? They, or, they hold the door and, or you hold the door. I'm sorry, because if they hold the door and you don't say thank you, you don't acknowledge that, then that could lead to some type of arguments, that could lead to physical altercations for some people, not all. Like with me, I'm like, I understand the trap. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, um, yeah, so I know a situation where a woman was behind somebody and the person didn't hold the door for them. Like for whatever reason, they didn't, like, cause come on, let's be honest, right? Like when you walk in, a lot of times you're not really looking behind you. You're not looking, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes people can be aware of their surroundings and everything that's going on, right? But a lot of times people are not, like, especially with people behind them. Like with me, I have to be aware of my surroundings, especially like I'm a night person, right? So sometimes I just like to go outside, go for walks, or I be running to like different fast food restaurants or different restaurants late at night. Like I'm gonna be honest, like yeah, like sometimes I be like, oh, I want to go to the store, or you just want to get out, especially like in the summertime, you just want to get out, get some fresh air. Um, you know, some people are fortunate they have like land and stuff they could walk around on, but it's like with me, like I like to be aware of my surroundings. Like that's just how I am. Like whether I'm going out in the daytime, going out in the nighttime, a lot of times people feel like, oh, it's better to go out in the daytime because um bad things are most likely to happen at night. But really, really, if somebody's trying to get you, they gonna get you when they gonna get you. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, all that. I mean, I can understand people's mindset surrounded by feeling like, oh, when you out at night, it's way more dangerous than in the daytime. But I just feel like if somebody's going to get you and they got their mind made up, that's what they're going to do. You feel what I'm saying? Some people already have their mind made up. Like, yeah, I'm going to pop it off or whatever the case may be. So I don't really see it like that. Like in terms of like, oh, it's safer in the daytime or it's less. No, I don't see it like that. I just feel like if you got beef with somebody, they're gonna pop it off anytime. They're gonna, you know, uh, try to start something with you regardless. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, in broad daylight, people be like shooting and stuff. Like, and we talking about midday, midday, the morning, the afternoon. Like, when the sun is like really beaming. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if someone's going to get you, they're going to get you. But I digress, right? Because that's not really the point I was trying to make. But kind of like I'm the type of person where I'm aware of my surroundings. And sometimes, there are people who they just not. Like they're not gonna look behind them. They just focus on where they going, right? So, when you're leaving an establishment you know, or possibly, your residence, if you live in an apartment building or whatever, sometimes you walking out, you're not really paying attention to who's behind you, right? So if you're walking out in a rush and you don't know nobody behind you and that door hits them, right? That could cause some type of issue. You know what I'm saying? That could really cause um people to really get into their feelings and want to start problems, right? And when you put yourself in a, when you say to yourself, like, listen, I'm going to be positive, I'm going to focus on the positive things, you know, things like that can happen where, you know, somebody could be arguing with you over something so minor, like someone not holding the door for you, or, you know, you may be walking out of a door and you don't say thank you, or somebody holding it for you. You know what I'm saying? Some, you know, stuff like that, right? Could really get people off the path of being their most positive self, or, you know, it could be anybody, like, you know, people that's closest to you may have an attitude or may feel some type of way about something from the past, and it's like you are starting the day off being positive and trying to, you know, step into your purpose, pretty much. Like when you're stepping into your present moment, you know what I'm saying? You stepping into, like, you being more present. And it's like when you being more present, you're trying to be focused on the now, right? And in this moment, you say to yourself, oh, I'm going to be positive, but somebody else could be hung up over something that you possibly did to them in the past, or maybe an argument that, you know what I'm saying, that you had and they not over it. So it's like, how do you deal with those type of circumstances when you say to yourself, oh, I'm going to be positive, right? Those are the moments that really matters. Like those kind of those challenges that can really get you out of, you know, your character. When you say to yourself, oh, okay, I'm going to uh be positive, I'm going to do things different today, you know. And sometimes that could be very hard, especially when um you are a person that kind of like thrives off the negativity, like where you learn how not even thriving in the negativity, because that's something like where you're from a toxic area, right? Everything is toxic. Sometimes people cannot avoid the toxicity. I said that all wrong, right? I said that so funny, right? As far as the toxicity, right? The toxic, like, shoot, your household may be toxic. You may go to work and it could be a toxic environment. You may even in commuting to wherever you need to go, right? A trip to the grocery store could be a toxic experience, depending on, like, you know what I'm saying, who was there, right? I'm just saying, like, some people know how to deal with those, like, you know what I'm saying, like you just deal with it in terms of how you meeting people where they're at, right? Somebody come at you with a nasty attitude, you coming back at them with a nasty attitude, and that's just what it is. Because some people feel like, yo, I've been nice, I've been positive, I'm doing all these good things, and people are still treating me like ish, treating me like I don't mean nothing, right? Some people feel like that, like they um be nice to people, do things for people, and they just treat them like shit. Let me just say that word. They treat them like shit, right? That's why you see some people, um they are not allowing people to walk over them like a doormat anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's some people out there, they be nice, be positive, do things for people, um, go out of their way to try to make people feel comfortable, to help people get to a different level in their life. You know what I'm saying? Like to excel. And then you doing all this nice stuff, and people are still treating you like shit, right? Some people, you know, they be nice. They do things, you know, for others, and then in turn people are overlooking those things that they're doing for them, not even acknowledging it, right? Um, and so sometimes when those things happen, sometimes you could build up this kind of like, um, sometimes it can make you feel like, well, if they doing this to me, I'm gonna do that to them type of mentality. And sometimes people don't allow that to phase them, and they still continue to be nice and do things for other people, right? Um, but it's horrible when you know that you're doing everything for somebody, you there for them, and you know what I'm saying, you helping them, and then they're dragging you down. They're dragging you down, literally. Um, and sometimes looking at that aspect, right? Because you could be just living life, being positive, wanting to see good for other people, but sometimes people see it as a game and they want to play games, right? They want to play games. They don't even have no emotions in regards to you, right? Or whatever situation it may be. It's just what they want, right? What they want for um themselves. How can they use you to get where they need to be at, or where they want to be at, pretty much, right? So you are a pawn in their game, and that's just horrible to really think about that. Like, dang, I could be having good intentions and doing positive things, and this person just it's just a whole game for them. You feel what I'm saying? It's just a game. And so with that being said, right, when you notice that, people have some type of mentality, right? Because it's really all about what they want. It's really all about what they want, right? That's why people feel like, oh, when they go into certain relationships, and it doesn't have to be intimate relationships, right? Because when people hear the word relationships, they automatically think like, oh yeah, um is an intimacy, is no, it doesn't have to be that. It could be any type of, you know contact that you may have with somebody, you know relationships outside of the intimacy. You feel what I'm saying? Like someone that you see on a daily basis, right? And like something is kind of like off, like, all right, this, you know you could tell when something is pretty much off, like, like someone like treating you like garbage, like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, and you start to like notice that, like, wait, because sometimes you know what I'm saying, like, even though when people really don't know, like, okay, this person have like a bad intention, like they don't mean me well, right? But sometimes when you are in whatever feeling that you have, like, let's say you don't even think like, oh, this person is trying to play a game or trying to do X, Y, and Z, right? Because you could see it all over the internet now, like where people talk about, oh, um certain relationships, how you should deal with it or whatever. And like I'm saying, I'm not talking about intimacy, right? It could be anything. Like, you see people, they come online and they just be dogging a family member, dogging a friend, saying X, Y, and Z. Oh, they did this to me, they did that to me, or whatever. But they don't take into the account of what they did to them, right? Because it's a two-way street with whatever kind of relationship that you have, friendship. You feel what I'm saying? Um, Whatever, friendship, um, you know, siblings, cousins, um, just even associates. You feel what I'm saying? Like, roommates, people that you like come into contact with, like on a consistent basis, and you have some type of dealings with them, right? And it's like, oh, your dealings could be positive, but theirs could be in a way in which they trying to belittle you, shade you, right? Trying to like get over on you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ever be nice to someone and you tell they like a manipulator, right? Because let's be honest, in any kind of relationship, right? People should be using each other, right? And you saying the word use may sound so like, oh my God, it's no, but it's just like it's a two-way street, right? I feel like that's a better way of saying it. Like, oh, it's a two-way street, right? It's some type of consent there, like, right? But somebody is trying to like play these little mind games, right? Or being very toxic, or trying to bring you down, like, even trying to make, when you're trying to make significant changes, like I was saying earlier, right? Being positive, right? You could have been positive, right? And to a particular, to everybody pretty much, right, because that's a conscious effort, right? Some of this stuff, right, can be intentional, right? And some of the stuff could just be like who you are as a person, right? But to allow somebody else's behavior to kind of like change who you are as a person, sometimes you have to reevaluate that. Like, before I had this encounter with this person, I wasn't acting like this, you know, or just being kind of like straight honest about what it is that you feel, like, having straight talk with somebody, right, about what they doing, how it's impacting you. But then again, it's just like, for what? You feel what I'm saying? It's just like, it's just like, for what? I just feel like knowing what, acknowledging something and knowing that this very thing exists, right? But even addressing it, right? Because it's like you could address something with somebody, right? But what happens if you address it with that person and they don't change their behavior, and they utilize that to further um, get at you? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say if you're dealing with, like, this is something that I could give an example to, like, you know, um, like if you are telling somebody like, oh, I don't like when you do this, or I don't like when you do that, and they could further increase that behavior. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, if you tell somebody, like, now I'm going to talk about intimate relationships, right? If you tell somebody all the horrible things that the last person did in a relationship, right? You know, what if this person does that to kind of push your buttons? Like, you told him how to hurt you, or you told her how to hurt you. Though that's the example that I'm trying to um convey. Like, you teaching somebody how to pretty much hurt you, but then again, it's like, if you identify it and it's just like, if you own up to certain things that you have gone through, right? No one could really um hurt you, right? You can identify an abuser, you can identify a manipulator. You feel what I'm saying? But sometimes people are weak minded. Sometimes people are weak wherever the stage in their life that they are in, right? Sometimes they can be like super weak, right? And that's a fact. They may not be in a position where they feel strong. You know what I'm saying? Right? But pretty much owning up to, you know, what it is that you been through, but I just feel like working on yourself, is key, you know, really identifying, certain things um that you you kind of been through, like really identifying it and getting over it, whatever it is that you've gone through. You have to um put yourself in a position where you're no longer experiencing the same things, right? Because sometimes people just keep continuously go through the same things, continuously go through the same things. And it's just like, hold on for a second, hold on. Yes, I am back. I'm sorry about that. I'm just trying to get things a little bit better. Um, yeah, so it's just like pretty much working on yourself and really identifying certain things, right? Why is it that you can't be positive? You know what I'm saying? If that's a goal, why can't you finish? Why can't you complete certain goals? You feel what I'm saying? That's what it boils down to. You have to allow yourself to push yourself beyond certain limits. You have to push yourself beyond certain limits. I know it's very challenging, but that's something that we all have to do. We have to push ourselves because if you can't complete a goal that you set out for yourself, then you have to um, start working on the reason why you are not able to do it, why there are distractions, why you easily influenced to uh, stop working towards it, right? That's important. That's important to um, allow yourself to kind of like face. You have to face those things. You have to face it. You know, that's very important. Very, very important. Okay. Um, what we can do is start to do things that's going to um, push us away from habits and decision making that's not in alignment with what we choose to do in this very moment. That's just what it boils down to. Like we have to push ourselves for that. Okay? Um, every day matters. Don't allow other people to get you to make decisions in the moment based off of emotions, how you feel, or how that person making you feel. Sometimes the best thing to do is remove yourself from a situation that's going to allow you to get out of character and make choices and decisions that's going to impact, you know, and have an impact long term. That's going to affect you long term, right? Because it's really all about becoming a better version right? Or to acknowledge certain things. And I'm going to say this, everything that, you know, the seasons, right? We are in a new season, spring, right? Before you know, we're going to be in the summer. I always talk about this, right? When we move on to different seasons, everybody's not supposed to be there. They're not like, you know what I'm saying. Some people can move forward with you on a journey, right? But sometimes people go on different journeys for a little while, and maybe they'll reconnect later on, or sometimes they don't, and that's fine, right? But really understanding what season that you're in is what's important. Okay, that's what's very important, and to really, acknowledge that, right? Because it's really your life and what you want, you know what I'm saying, for yourself. And at the end of the day, you're gonna say to yourself, like, I'm sorry, at the end of the day, it's really gonna be your decision. And it's not gonna be based off of what anybody else said, what anybody else did. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you only have yourself to blame for the choices and the decisions that you made, whether it was out of emotions or not. Point blank, period. Sometimes the best thing to do is to step back and just be quiet and just kind of like peep your surroundings and see what's, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, like, yo, people be trying to get you to be out of character, to get out of character. For honestly, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, soon as you say to yourself, right, I want to do this, or this is going to be my goal, yo, a lot of things, it be so many tests that's going to be put on your path, right? Now, I'm going to say this, right? And sometimes it can be your own self that is hindering you. And so you have to identify that when you are um, being a part of self sabotaging, right? You don't want to be a part of self sabotaging. You know what I'm saying? When you sabotaging yourself, sabotaging your opportunities, sabotaging, anything that's good for you, right? Sometimes you have to be acknowledged about, okay, what that is. But it's really about being able to know when you're self sabotaging or when you in your own way, right? That's when you have self reflection, when you are aware of yourself and the choices and the decisions that you're making, or when you're aware that you're allowing somebody else to impede upon that. Or, you know what I'm saying? Some people allow other people to get into their way. You know what I'm saying? Getting to get on their path to stop them, right? Because it's just like let's say if you're driving on a road, right? You're driving, right? And then somebody just like let's say somebody just come on your path, right? Just come directly in front of your car, right? Like I'm talking about, like, let's say if they making a right turn, they just stay there instead of completing a right turn, right? Like let's say they're in the other lane, right? And they get into your lane, but when they get into your lane, it's like they making a turn and their car just stop, right? Let's say their car just stop, right? And you stop your car and you get like so mad, like what's going on or whatever, like, people get into like road rages and stuff like that, right? But what happens if you just back up and go around? You feel what I'm saying? That's how easy it is, right? When people just get on your path, like, you know what I'm saying? Because what if that person, did it because you broke them? Some people when they be having road rage, right? They do it because, oh, you did something blocks down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you cut me off, so I'm just gonna cut you off, type of something like that. You know what I'm saying? But the best thing to do is back up and go around, right? Instead of like arguing with somebody about something that is mediocre, You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm not getting out of my car on no road. I'm not doing it. Sorry, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Especially with somebody road raging and stuff like that. Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, 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 ma'am. No, ma'am. Right? Okay. So, yeah. So, before I get off of here, right, I want to invite all of you guys to be a part of this live event that is coming up in the summertime. Okay. Um, this is going to be beautiful transformations becoming better with time, right? This is beautiful transformations becoming better with time, right? And this will be for 4 weeks. Every week there'll be a live event, it'll be a live virtual call that will be for 30 minutes, right? And this will be for 4 weeks, and it's going to be on Fridays at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? So the following dates are July 10th, July 17th, July 24th, and July 31st, right? And this live event costs $68. Okay. And this one does cost. I do have other things that are free, but this particular one is $68, and you can't beat that. $68, and you're going to be a part of 4 live virtual calls. That's life changing. Okay, you can't beat that. Okay, so if you want to sign up for this, definitely go to www.beautifulstartpodcast.com and click the link that says Beautiful Transformations, and then you can sign up. Okay. Um, yeah, so definitely make sure you be a part of it, because I will be giving you guys information that will definitely that you will be able to apply into real life situations, or apply to your life, right? Because that's really what it's really all about, really applying things that is going to change, you know, your life, right? So, yeah, definitely sign up, okay, for that. And I would like to, if this is your first time really tuning in to this live, and you want to join, um, be a part of the Beautiful Start family, okay? Beautiful Start Podcast family. Definitely subscribe, okay? Definitely subscribe, okay? And like and share. Definitely do that. Definitely. That's what you want to do. Yes. Okay. So definitely subscribe, 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 subscribe. But yes, but I'm going to call it a day. I know you guys hearing all this noise in the background, because I think was it later? Yeah, it was yesterday. Like, it was something wrong with I don't know what was wrong with it. It was like the audio didn't sound good. Then the audio wasn't working. It's just a lot. But hopefully I have it together. Okay. But yeah, so I'm gonna um continue to see how things uh hopefully it sounds good. So I'm gonna continue to work on that aspect. Because right now it's just me, so like I do everything. But it is what it is. Okay. But I'm about to get off of here. You guys have an amazing day. Okay.